morning everyone, myself Dr. Priyanka. So today we are going to have a brief discussion about Purkinje fiber VT. So basically what is Purkinje fiber VT? This is the whole spectrum of VTs which includes Purkinje fiber VT. So here we cannot cover up all the full spectrum of Purkinje fiber VT. So we are going to have a brief discussion which involves short coupled VF and VF in ischemic cardiomyopathy. So just to have a brief about Purkinje fiber VT, like what is Purkinje fiber VT or VF. So any change or damage in the His Purkinje system can cause polymorphic VT or VF. These arrhythmias can be either idiopathic, occurring in structurally normal heart, or they can occur in structural heart disease like ischemic cardiomyopathy, dilated cardiomyopathy, hypertrophic cardiomyopathies, valvular heart disease, or myocarditis. So to begin with, we'll just start with a case study or a case. So here is a 59-year-old gentleman presenting to us in ED with complaint of chest pain, diagnosed to have anterior wall MI. We took the patient in the cath lab, did a PCI to LAD. So he was doing well for like 48 hours. On day 3, started having multiple polymorphic VTs runs, which was DC cardioverted. So here what we found on the monitor which is on in the ED, like there were short coupled PVCs causing R on T, which led to polymorphic VTs. So for this there were no signs of ischemia. We did a check CAG which was normal, QT interval was normal, electrolytes was normal. We were trying to rule out if there is any other causes of polymorphic VT or like that. We started him on Zylocard, beta blockers, nothing worked actually. He continued to have polymorphic VTs. Then we started on amiodarone. We even tried stellate ganglion block. Still he continued to have polymorphic VT runs. And every time after DC cardioversion, this was the finding, like he continued to have short coupled PVCs which were causing R on T. So with no option left, we gave the patient quinidine, and with quinidine this thing settled down actually, and this was the ECG after quinine. Actually quinidine was not available, so we tried an alternative to quinidine, which is quinine. So just to have a brief about like post MI Purkinje fiber VT-VF, it can present 3 to 8 days after MI or revascularization, and in certain cases it can present even after months, 2 years after an MI. These are basically coupled by short coupled PVCs, and they are mainly refractory to the conventional antiarrhythmic drugs like amiodarone, Zylocard, beta blockers, and even stellate ganglion block. And these polymorphic VT runs can lead to VT storms. So what is basically the mechanism of post-MI Purkinje related arrhythmias? So post-MI there is alteration in the cellular activity of the Purkinje fibers because of ischemia and post-ischemic damage, which gives rise to delayed after depolarization and triggered activity. There is increased automaticity of the Purkinje fibers, which further increases the arrhythmogenic tendency and causes polymorphic VT. During the healing phase, there is electrical coupling at the junction between the Purkinje fibers and myocardial cells is impaired, causing unidirectional block, and which again encourages re-entry, causing polymorphic VT or VF. So management wise, first we can try beta blockers, we can try calcium channel blockers if the LV function is okay, patient is hemodynamically stable. Last resort is quinidine. Good results have been found in studies with quinidine, and if nothing works, then radiofrequency ablation of the triggering PVCs is a bailout option left with us. So just to have a brief about quinidine. Quinidine is basically a class 1A antiarrhythmic drug. Like other class 1A antiarrhythmic drugs, it is also a sodium channel blocker, but it has an additional action on IKR and ITO channels also. Quinidine was initially used till 1990s a lot for the management of AF and VTs, but later on there were reports of sudden cardiac death. So the use of quinidine came down actually. Quinidine is available both in oral forms and IV forms. Usually oral forms are available in the markets. The dosing is, as per the literature, it is 1 to 2 grams per day. Quinidine tablets are available in these are usually white color tablets which are available as in 200 mg doses and 300 mg doses. Like after giving quinidine, we need to monitor the QTC interval and the QRS duration, as there is a risk of torsades with quinidine. The QT interval prolongs and the QRS widens. If the QRS complex or the QTC interval widens to 130% of its pre-treatment duration, or the absolute value of the QTC increases to more than 500 millisecond, it's an indication to withhold quinidine. So, how does the quinidine work? Its main important work is on the ITO channels, and since ITO channels are expressed in very high density in the Purkinje fibers, so that is how it selectively attacks the Purkinje. It works on the Purkinje fibers a lot. It decreases the transmural dispersion and it helps in the Purkinje fiber VT. Quinine is an alternative where quinidine availability is an issue. The availability of quinidine in many of the Southeast Asian countries is an issue. So quinine is used in those countries. So quinine, if we talk about quinine, it's basically an isomer of quinidine. It has a similar pharmacological activities, although its action on the IKR channel is comparatively less as compared to the quinidine. The proarrhythmic potential of QT prolongation torsades it's less as compared to the quinidine. The main issue with the quinine is its side effect called synchronism, the auditory effect of the side effect of the quinine, for which some study says that dietary modification might help. And the doses of quinine is 900 to 1200 mg per day, which are far less than its anti-malarial doses. So when RF ablation of the triggering PVC, it can be used as a bailout option when all the antiarrhythmic drugs have failed. Like here we can see that we can take the patient in the lab, we can map the triggering PVC actually, and then we can give an ablation. So here we can see that we have taken the patient in the lab, we have mapped the PVC. So we can see that the Purkinje potential is preceding the PVC by around 97 milliseconds. So here we gave the ablation lesion and the PVC got silenced and the patient had a unbelievable relief, like he was now free of any VT or VF runs and he became stable and all. So the other spectrum of the Purkinje fiber VT which we are going to discuss is idiopathic VF, which is now also called a short coupled VF more specifically, and it is one of the rare cause of an unexplained sudden cardiac arrest in otherwise healthy individuals. It's basically a diagnosis of exclusion. So what are the diagnostic criteria for idiopathic VF? It is basically a documentation of VF of polymorphic VT initiated by a PVC with a coupling interval of less than 350 milliseconds is required, plus exclusion of Brugada, early repolarization, long QT interval, long QTC or CPVT, for which by which we means that the ECG should show normal QT intervals, cardiac MRI should be normal, TMT should be negative. We can also get a sodium channel provocation test to rule out Brugada and all. So the molecular and genetic aspect of idiopathic VF, so it remains still largely elusive. Positive family history of sudden unexplained cardiac death can be found in 8 to 15% of the patients. DPP6 gene mutation have found to be having some role. It's basically a regulatory protein of beta subunit of ITO channels. The gain of function of the ITO current in Purkinje fibers compared with the normal ventricular cardiomyocytes, the ITO current of the Purkinje cells is of increased amplitude and function, predisposing the Purkinje cells for triggered activity. Just again go with a case. So it's basically a 29-year-old lady presenting to us in the OPD with complaints of recurrent syncope. Her ECG is normal with normal QT interval, echo is normal. So we admitted the patient so we got the patient admitted for a 24-hour Holter, and what we saw on the Holter was short coupled PVC of same morphology giving rise to, with RBBB morphology giving rise to polymorphic VT VF runs every time. There were multiple runs like this. Able to see multiple runs of the same polymorphic VT-VF every time, initiated by short coupled PVC of same morphology. So like what is the and we diagnosed her to have a short coupled VF. So what is the management and follow up of the patient with idiopathic VF? All patients with short coupled VF with history of resuscitated cardiac arrest or documented polymorphic VT-VF should receive an ICD. In the ICD therapy, single therapy zone with a high cutoff rate, more than 210 to 200 beats per minute, and a long detection interval should be set. Adjuvant treatment with quinidine is recommended for patients with idiopathic VF with frequent VF recurrences, patient with electrical storm, or those who refuse ICD implantation. The optimal quinidine doses for short coupled VF remains unknown, and the mean daily quinidine dose varies significantly between different studies, ranging from 600 mg to 2 grams per day. Alternatively, Verapamil has shown some positive results in some case series in short coupled VF. For patients with recurrent ICD therapies with VF episodes despite adequate medical treatment, RF ablation of triggered PVCs recommended. So thank you.